That's all.
Why is your dick out in public? Tell me any rational reason other than a psychotic break that you would have your dick out in public, that it is okay.
Whack 100 beat me up.
Let's move on.
Doing the same thing.
So what is your argument?
They're the same.
He didn't come out and say that he was cheating. She did. As soon as she cheated, he came out and was like, boo-hoo, you cheated with the baby in you.
That's crazy, too.
Like, come on now.
And if he didn't say Drake's name in the song, if he didn't imply what he was implying, like people try to act like when he said, hey, Drake, you like him young, talking 19-year-old, 20-year-old. No, you don't go to jail. You don't go to cell block 1 for dealing with a 19-year-old. You go dealing with for someone who's underage.
We love that he's an upstanding black man with a black wife who has a black family and they're successful with no drama. We love that. We want them to thrive and keep being that. But it's not necessarily realistic. This is a rich ass man who's been with this lady since high school. You think he hasn't dipped in anything else the whole time? Like, well, that's crazy.
If you ask Drew Sidora, she said that she got LeBron.
Why are you the side?
And I know Cam has tried to like distance himself away from that. You see him now wearing the suits and all that other stuff like that. But even with how he conducted himself last year with Melissa Ford and just some of the other antics that he has here and there, he still hasn't shown that true growth. Like just
and I still don't like how you did Juju. If there's a poor people Mandarin,
I'm seeing these folks huts probably and stuff. Not. Like they got way better. They do homeless better than us. In China,
they do everything better than us in the Asian countries. They're even poor better than us
because like they having little cookouts and stuff with each other. Ain't no heroin, no needles on the ground. They just pour together.
Well, yeah.
All right, so I do want to preface this by saying that they're both generally just seems like not good people to each other. I
disagree. Offset is a terrible person. He seems like the worst person.
Cardi could be that too. We've seen instances with her being a terrible person in regards to. We just keep looking at it from her standpoint because she's quote unquote getting cheated on.
Quote unquote.
Yeah,
she's getting cheated on.
Yeah, if this is true that this man killed himself from these actions of this video coming out, that woman who posted it should get involuntary manslaughter.
No, she shouldn't.
Yes, she should.
Your whole life is revolved around talking about other people's lives.
What the fuck do you think your ass is doing on that podcast now?
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
All right. You're now listening to Talk FNF TV. I'm your host, Rhetoric. I'm with my lovely and amazing co-host, Miss Reality.
Hi, guys.
We're back to bring another installment. So we got to bring up on a lot of this, man. Drake is back in the court cases. Y'all thought y'all had him last night. It was funny too, the way that this sequencing happened. They thought they had him because they had pulled out the petition, but then this morning on Wednesday it was announced by TMZ and a bunch of other, reporting places that Drake is now doing a federal defamation lawsuit on UMG. Mm-hmm. So now he is officially taking my advice and he is shitting on these niggas exactly the way he's supposed to, and it's got people still upset about this.
UMG issued a statement. I believe about this. They said, so this is their, to the defamation federal lawsuit. This is their response. Not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, is illogical. We have invested massively in his music and our employees around the world have worked tirelessly for many years to help him achieve historic commercial and personal financial success. Throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry to engage in conventionally outrageous back and forth rap battles to express his feelings about other artists. He now seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and seek damages from UMG or for distributing that artist's music. We have not and do not engage in defamation against any individual. The statement concludes, "At the same time, we will vigorously defend this litigation to protect our people and our reputation, as well as any artists who might directly or indirectly become a frivolous litigation target for having done nothing more than write a song."
So Drake's team, they dropped the court case documents, so you can go check them out online now. I was able to go through most of them. So essentially what they do is they play out what's happened and what's occurred since the drop of the song. They note about 3 different instances of, someone being shot at his house, someone trying to break in, and also someone trying to dig a hole to enter into his premises. So what it does is it lays out a formula which it shows that they've, put someone on his name, put a song out that shows that, hey, I've never done any of these things that y'all claiming I've done with this song. And now I've been attacked. My name's been put through the mud, and it's noted also in there that it said that UMG is using this to put him into a situation where they can get favorable terms in the negotiation that's been going on. So, it's just been stuff that we've been discussing throughout the whole time of this beef. And the fact is, people keep trying to say, oh, people have talked shit about hip hop people the whole time. There's been at least some hint of truth or something that can go back to. In this situation, once you drop that particular word, that word has a meaning. It's a criminal meaning. You pushing this out to this narrative to everyone. He even made notes of making calls to violence. You're rallying people behind this action that we all know.
Bro, are we
wrong.
not talking about hip hop?
It's not about hip hop anymore.
But are we still not talking about hip hop in the general?
Just because it's hip hop don't mean you can lie.
We're talking about a rapper and a rapper. How do we know that these niggas been lying in their music for mad long?
Yes, but
when has that
there's a difference between
a
lying saying I'm a thug and I'm a hard and I'm a gangster, and then lying saying what somebody else is and what they're doing. Mm-hmm. There's just a different line.
This is really interesting because UMG can distribute whatever they want to distribute regardless of what's being said on the music. How is it?
No, you can't.
How is it on them?
And then that's how you know that's not the truth, because
that's the whole case that whatchamacallit went through, right?
Who? What's their name?
Doodle Brown. Who made Doodle Brown? Uncle Luke.
Yeah, but he was saying he wanted the right to not be censored in regards to what he's talking about. But there's still lines to censorship. The funny part about this is people getting upset with the insinuation that Drake's team is saying y'all should not have put this song out under y'all label, when that is very true what he's saying in that regard, that y'all shouldn't have put that out knowing that information was on there. Y'all could have stopped this. Let's just keep another example here. If someone made a song that was pro Gaza or Hamas or the Palestinian cause, you don't think that these Jewish record labels would stop that song from coming out and being produced?
They definitely would.
So he's saying there's just another example of if y'all have y'all line.
That's just for completely other reasons. It's not the song wouldn't be illegal or anything. That would just be fucked up. But them to suppress it.
But I'm saying that y'all have made choices in regards to what y'all feel is okay to produce. I can have that same thing where it comes to me. This isn't somebody outside of his label disrespecting him. Granted, there's still a case for that of defamation if there's some malice, but there is actual malice to be shown here, that there's a reason why you would want to defame. All the stuff they kept saying in regards to Drake, that it sounds good, but it's different when you have some of his pub, you're getting a large turnaround for his money. That's not what's going on now in his future projects that don't benefit you the same way. So there's a reason why you would want to tear him down.
I don't know. It seems like the same, whatever, if there were tactics used by UMG to boost Kendrick, then Drake has benefited from these same tactics, which is what they said in their state. They literally said in their statement that you have successfully used us to engage in rap battles with other rappers. So he's playing victim at this point, when the same, I've said before, the same machine that you've been using successfully did the same thing for somebody else who's part of the same machine, and you're upset.
Calling niggas dorks and clowns in your music is not the same as calling someone a crime against children. It's just not the same.
I feel like y'all keep getting super stuck on this pedophile thing.
But that's if you read the documents, that's literally his main point. is that if y'all would have took those lines out, there would have been nothing for me to sue. Because he literally, it's crazy how they go down. They literally break down each line in the document where he talks about the certified lover boy, certified pedophile actions, talks about the multiple times that he brought his name up in the A minor line. It's like everything is going here to where you want folks to assume after listening to this song that Drake is a violent offender against children.
My thing is Kendrick not allowed to lie on a song?
You can lie and have the effects that they had.
And then
it's not necessarily
if Kendrick does lie on the song, then is UMG liable for distributing the music? Like,
and what
regardless of who it is, if somebody lies on a piece of art and then somebody else distributes that piece of art because it's just their job to distribute things, are they liable for whatever consequences comes to the person being lied about? If
you're not clearly defining it as satire, that is not real, and that the stuff that you're putting out there is just out of your mind, like a figment of your imagination. If you're not clearly defining that, then you could be being liable for it.
You could argue, right? Like if Kendrick had, like if this was against Kendrick, it's not, but you could argue that like, because it's on a beat, a happy dancey beat in general, like my intention was for it to be satirical, but if everyone took it as serious, then how am I being held legally liable for that?
They actually noted that in the article. I mean, not article, but in the court case, because they went back to Euphoria, where they noted where he said, if you tell lies about me, I'll tell truths about you. So he's already affirming the audience in that moment that the things that I'm going to be saying about you are going to be accurate. So again, that's where
you could still just say that's an artist doing what an artist does, entertaining. Like he was just putting, like this was just him doing what artists do. Like that's why you could argue that too.
That's why disclaimers are important. Without those disclaimers and things that's being said, you as Kendrick Lamar, you sell yourself as this real artist. So people are going to assume, especially when you say the nigga name again, like if he didn't say Drake's name in the song, if he didn't imply what he was implying, like people try to act like when he said, hey, Drake, you like him young, talking about he talking 19-year-old, 20-year-old. No, you don't go to jail. You don't go to cell block 1 for dealing with a 19-year-old. You go dealing with for someone who's underage. And that's just the things that are all being implied in the music. And it's just obvious.
And then on top of that, I'm thinking about like, if this is the specific thing that Drake is trying to sue Universal over, right? Like the claim that he's a pedophile. Is this a civil case? Like, would that not eventually have to lead into a criminal case to prove that he's not a pedophile?
Nothing about libel or nothing about defamation is criminal.
Okay. Because, I mean, it's about something that's criminal. You're defaming my name over something that I could be thrown in jail over. If he loses this, would a overzealous DA somewhere not have grounds to start a criminal case against Drake for some reason?
No, you losing the claim, you saying it is just them saying, hey, whatever particular reason this falls under the line of free speech would be that. That doesn't necessarily give credence to him having done the actions that you said. It's just about how the judge or the jury would interpret what was being said.
Drake is behaving like a white woman to me. I don't know.
I'm not mad at it, bro.
He's really behaving like a white woman.
You don't get to treat me like that. Like I completely understand. I've been one of the most successful artists for this label. I'm one of the top dogs.
I'm in a very high place of privilege.
You don't get to talk to me like that.
Yeah, like a white woman.
I don't care. Hey, fuck it. Bro, the thing about it is you would feel the exact same way if you was a top producer, whatever field you were doing, and somebody beneath you statistically was talking shit about you. You would not feel cool about that if they were publicly doing
probably wouldn't sue anybody, but I'd be salty, yeah.
So that's what all he's saying here. And it's cool.
I mean, no, but that's not all he's saying. He's suing.
You would sue the lady if she said that you was stealing product or something and it got you fired.
But nobody
But that's what happens here. You're telling
him. Is he not still Drake? Is he like his standing?
I can still be Drake at 100%, but if what you said make me at 97%, I lost because of your lies. So that's what he's saying. Even if the niggas, like they talked about the NFL deal, people were bringing up the fact that he got that NFL deal or whatever. If we argued that and we were doing it at $2 million and now you offering me $500K or you offering me $1 million, I've lost money from our negotiations because of whatever is out around my name.
And then I wonder if he's going to have to prove that too.
I'm pretty sure that those documents, because like I said, there was a note there that he said that they were doing this to put Drake in a situation where UMG would be able to get favorable outcome in their negotiations. So
that part of it is believable. Like a corporation trying to fuck the artist so that they don't have to pay the artist what they're worth. That is wildly believable. That tracks with how record companies have behaved for the entire time they've existed. They've been bending artists over and telling them to take it. So, yeah.
And I think that's largely what he's just saying in regards to the impact that they've had on his career. It's like, y'all have tainted my name, even if it's a little bit. That needs to be addressed because we live in culture currency. Like that's our biggest financial gain is the cultural currency we have with people. And if you attack that by calling me a criminal when I'm not doing such crimes, I got to stand and defend myself. And I feel like everybody's trying to say like he's like doing the whole Karen white. Bro, I got to defend myself. Because at the end of the day, when this 20 years from now, 30 years from now, or shit, when Drake's gone, people are going to go back and look at this and be like, did he defend himself? Did he deny these claims? Did he just let this happen? Was he doing this? And then you got all the people like, yo, what's some little notes you be reading?
The blind items.
Yeah, you got them blind items going out there that's going to be able to tell your story when I'm gone. So you got to put stuff on wax.
And then the crazy thing about blind items is it usually be like people like people around who just be like seeing shit. I'm sure a lot of them are made up too, but it'd be like PAs and
or
entertainment lawyers. And yeah, I just said that.
That's what I'm saying. Just I mean, when I'm saying that is just like the fact that even those people could be PAs, they could still just be lying. So they could have somewhere close.
But they don't get paid for that. Like
if I had a bad experience with you, even if you didn't do nothing illegal or wrong to me, having folks think something negative about you can just be enough for some people. So, all right. Speaking of people thinking negative of each other, man, Cameron and Jim Jones is bad, man. I don't like that.
What's been going on with this? Because I don't pay attention when old men bicker.
Apparently 50 Cent was on Is What It Is show with Cam and Mace. There was discussions regarding what was going on back in the day. There were some things that were said about Jim Jones that Jim Jones didn't like. So when he went on the Respectfully podcast with Justin LeBoy, he said that Cam was on his dick or whatever. That rubbed Cam the wrong way. So then Cam went on his show when he got back and basically he annihilated Jim. Like
he said he's not even from Harlem.
He said y'all wasn't no boy. You really wasn't one of our boy. We was only with you because you had an open crib. All this stuff. Like he was just going in on bro the whole time about it.
And that's really messed up.
But they were using him?
No, like telling him that now, like, oh, we never really fucked with you after they were mans for mad long and then they fell out. And then from what I know, like Jim Jones most of the time was like, yeah, we had our stuff, but like I still got love for the man. Like that was my boy. Like we was actually like mans for real. And then I was really surprised when I saw how much vitriol Cam had for Jim, but I didn't know what Jim had said.
They've been beefing like that for a while though. Like this is not
it's
the first
on and
time.
off. It's very much a love-hate relationship.
Yeah,
like they be beefing and then they're neutral and then they're beefing and then neutral.
If they're not getting money together, they usually beefing with each other. That's kind of the general synopsis of their relationship. If they not getting bread and in the immediate future with each other, they hating on each other. But I just think, to me, it's like I hate when I think about looking at Cam and the Dipset, just all them guys in their totality. It's like they are stuck in their heyday. They kind of like the dudes a little bit that's stuck in high school. And I know Cam has tried to like distance himself away from that. You see him now wearing the suits and all that other stuff like that. But even with how he conducted himself last year with Melissa Ford and just some of the other antics that he has here and there, he still hasn't shown that true growth. Like just
and I still don't like how you did Juju.
And just because you put it on suits don't mean you growth. Like I hate black people when we do that, where like niggas start wearing suits and shit, and we start saying niggas then grown and mature. Like that don't correlate. Just because you got a nice suit on don't mean you've matured. These guys kind of have been the poster child from like stunted development. Like if you want to be honest, they got really popular, really fly early on in their life. You can almost make an argument that they're like child actors in a way.
That's just
too.
Harlem niggas, baby.
I'm just telling you what it looks like from the outside looking in.
No, I'm telling you.
So all the Harlem niggas act like child stars?
The Harlem niggas that stay in Harlem and be posted up still, yes.
They still wearing AVX jackets and shit on the corner?
Like, but no. They be fly. I'll give them that. But that's the only thing I'm going to give y'all. But other than that, yeah, I feel like that's just how they be. Like,
that's crazy. To like
holding on to their heyday.
Stunning growth is like crazy as a personality trait. Like, that's insane. Like, that's just my personality is having stunning development. It's insane.
And don't you know a lot of people like that though?
I wouldn't say that's their personality. Is that it's just a byproduct of their personalities that their development's been stunted. But they seem to find like pride in that stunted development. Like, I just seen a picture of Joel Santana with a hoodie on and he had the bandana wrapped around the hoodie. Like, I'm just
that's Jules.
But I'm like, bro, you almost 50 though. Like, at some point it's all right to just change the look. Like,
I don't know. I saw a picture of Future. He 40 something years old. He got 4 locks. They're wicks.
The wicks is different though. Wicks look, at least it's done. It's neat.
No.
Like, my man Jim still looks like he gets his hair freshly braided and then just with his hands.
No.
Like, that's exactly what it looks like.
Jim Jones's braids have been a mystery to me my entire life.
He was like the first nigga that brushed their braids
backwards.
No, forward. He against the grain. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, he went against the grain with the shit. So that's what I mean. Like, again, they were cool. They've had moments. They were the epitome of the fly nigga when I was in high school. Like, everybody was like, oh, I want to be Dipset. But even then, them niggas was like 30 years old and we was 18 looking up to him.
Yeah.
So it's like,
old. That's what I said in the beginning. Like, old niggas is bickering right now. Why are y'all going back and forth on the internet like bad bitches? That's crazy.
I just think that there's nobody that's put them in a position or forced them to really have to change their ways. Like,
y'all better sit down and talk it out like grown men.
You got to think about it. If me,
fuck is this?
If me acting the same way I was acting when I was my early 20s is getting me money now, there's no incentive for me to look or do things differently. And I think that's
exactly how I feel about Future. I'm sorry that he keeps catching strays, but
I mean, you can feel. I mean, there's an argument to be made that Future is the Dipset version of in Atlanta.
Yeah.
In regards to that, I just think that scheming on bitches is never something that's going to get old. Like, that's, to me, just seems like, to me, that's not what they doing. They trying to be like out in the party and flash and you niggas got to respect my flavor and all that kind of shit.
No,
like,
they definitely
Future
be
not
trying
doing
to.
that.
They definitely be trying to sun niggas.
Yeah, Future not doing that. Future just like, I'm just on the hose. And
which I don't like.
Never too old for that.
I don't like when the big homies try to sun the little homie and it's not even like.
But that's what they're
necessary for real.
That's
like,
their MO.
You're a bully.
That's
you're a grown man who's a bully.
That has been their archetype. It's been bullies. That's literally been their archetype the entire time they've been in the music industry.
I've been called a bully more than once.
Like, I think one of the things that is going to go back, it's shown itself now that if we relook the Bill O'Reilly interview with Cameron and Dame Dash, looks almost like Bill O'Reilly was a prophet. If you go back and listen to that now, where he talks about where hip hop was going to be going to and where it's at right now, he's almost like a 1-for-1. Exactly what he said. And they look so bad. Like, in hindsight now, they look so bad. And I know in the moment it looked funny and it was cool and they clowning the white nigga in the suit and all that. Now, when you look at that, they look so ignorant and they were just pushing the culture to a place where it is now, where it's easily manipulated, super vulnerable, and it's pushing out nothing but garbage.
You might be right, but I don't like that you just said a white man was right.
Hey, I mean, it wasn't about him being.
I just don't like the whole general sense of the whole setup.
I'm not saying that he was right. I'm saying if what he was describing is what's more of a reality now than it was then. And a large part about it is because men like that were in charge of hip hop and were allowed to continue to push bullshit.
In charge of hip hop? You think Dipset was ever maybe in New York specifically, but nowhere else?
Jim Jones, you can almost say Jim Jones was directly responsible for 6ix9ine. The people who Shotty was under Jim. Like,
I don't know nothing about 6ix9ine.
I'm telling you, Shotty was under Jim. Like, that was one of Jim's little soldiers. So that's why he was in the videotape saying we got to violate Shotty. Like,
I feel like 6ix9ine was conceived because you remember that one episode of Atlanta where he was basically like, get a little white boy and just give him all the sauce, and then it blows up faster for them, and then you just sit back and collect the money. That's how 6ix9ine happened. There was a team of black men or women, probably men though, behind him, just giving him all the sauce and the juice, and then they was bleeding him dry. That's exactly what was happening.
Shotty was.
That's exactly yeah.
That's who Shotty was. That's what kind of the point is. They were just
bleeding him dry.
And then a lot of that, like I said, was under Jim's direction. Though they were saying that's a lot. That's why Jim Jones' name came up in the court cases, because he was in a way or form shaping what Shotty and them was doing. Mm-hmm. They went to him for guidance.
What is 6ix9ine doing now? Is he in jail again?
He was in jail with Diddy. That's what that's what DJ Akademiks said. He got to talk to Diddy through 6ix9ine.
Speaking of DJ Akademiks, are we still on Drake? Kind of, right?
I mean, I was talking about the Cam and Jim Jones.
Oh yeah,
thing, but
Cam and Jim Jones. But did you see Ak drop, like, was it texts that, and he tried to allege that LeBron James is cheating on Savannah, and he was like, oh, you be going on two mans with Drake, and he be facilitating the girls for you, and it'd be mostly white women because you love white women. And that's been a rumor for a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, Ak has been going in on LeBron, and you've seen too with Charlemagne trying to, like, quell his his vigor right now in regards to going to LeBron. I think, to me, if he has information, and I'm not mad at him saying it. If he got,
did you see the texts?
I didn't sail through all the text messages.
So there were texts apparently, and then Drake said that they were not fake. I mean, not real.
We talked about that.
Okay.
We talked about that last week. Where, Chris Blake Griffith. That was the dude who Stephon Diggs. Remember we talked about that. So
Drake said that they weren't real, but turns out they're fully real.
The dude is claiming that they're real, but people have shown where you can go into the app and make it so that it looks like a screenshot, like you screen record if you going into somebody's thread.
So there's places to. Goddamn.
There's still a degree that this may be right or wrong. So nobody knows yet if these are been fully authenticated, but it does look more real than it did when we were talking about it last week. Mm-hmm. But this is just crazy with the LeBron shit, because Ak, like I said, Ak has people who are willing to talk. It's going to get crazy for LeBron, because people try to act like, oh, this is just somebody making claims. If this shit gets real, he's staking a lot of his brand on the fact that I'm a family man. I'm honoring my family. So that shit can get real for bruh.
That's his whole thing. And it doesn't surprise me. Like, I didn't think that LeBron was being an upstanding, faithful man to Savannah.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of rumors you can go down the line.
Yeah, but as long as, like, nothing has been substantiated.
Well,
other than the, like, yes, Jules thing, kind of, right? Like, nothing
has been confirmed for them.
Okay.
Even she's tried to act like, has denied, anything regarding.
I just feel like LeBron has enough money to, even if people are willing to talk, make them people not talk.
Yeah, I mean, I would see that as well, where LeBron probably has put things in an arranged way that, hey, if you say something, the court cases are going to come out and come flying. But in the same token, once that's out there, you can't put that genie in the bottle. No,
you can't. But if I have information about LeBron cheating, I'm going to let all parties know. And I'm going to be like, highest bidder. Either I speak or I shut up. Who's gonna give me the most money to do whichever one that they want me to do?
No, I think we can't have that for LeBron, because LeBron,
I don't want that for LeBron.
We can't have that for my boy.
I think he represents a specific, like, archetype, and we love that he's an upstanding black man with a black wife who has a black family and they're successful with no drama. We love that. We want them to thrive and keep being that. But it's not necessarily realistic. This is a rich ass man who's been with this lady since high school. You think he hasn't dipped in anything else the whole time? Like, well, that's crazy.
If you ask Drew Sidora, she said that she got LeBron.
Why are you the side bitch everywhere?
She was the side bitch on the show.
On the game. Yeah. Like, you're always like, Drew, I want you to maybe love yourself a little bit more. I don't know what's going on, but every time I hear your name, you the side bitch. You're like a professional side bitch on and off camera. That's crazy. You were probably typecasted as a side bitch because that's genuinely who you are in real life. That's kind of crazy.
If it's one man, though, that should be allowed to have other women on the side, it should be LeBron.
Yeah, but I don't want anybody but Savannah to know about it.
I mean, they've done a good job.
Like, maybe not even Savannah. But at this point, there's probably enough money.
Savannah then walked in on some shit.
Okay, like she has a beautiful family and enough money.
She done walked in. She done.
And then he let her start speaking in 2024. So like, this is the most freedom she's ever had.
That was the concession he had to make because it was getting excessive.
He was like, she said, if you wanna continuously fuck with these white women so much so that it's a rumor that goes around consistently, I'm gonna speak.
I think the thing about it is though, it has to be that if it is him going around and, you know, fooling around and stuff like that, for you to be that like clean cut in regards to that, where it's like there's nobody talking, because the thing is, well, everybody wants it to be Tiger Woods. That's what it has to be, where the level that has to be met for it to make it a real like story.
67 women come out.
It has to be like Tiger Woods, where it's like, bro, you telling every girl that you love her, you saying every wild boy shit to get in the fuck, which is crazy because it's like, why are you Tiger Woods and you gotta tell a bitch you love her? Like, that shouldn't have to be the rules. Like,
I feel like that's what happened when a corny dude gets into the position where he can get access to a bunch of women that he wouldn't have access to if he had not been this talented and rich. You crashing out. You telling you acting like the corny dude still.
To me,
you just have money now.
To me, I think that's the only reason it probably hasn't come out yet, because it's just not those drastic of a number. Like,
because Tiger already happened and LeBron is not stupid, I feel like that's not gonna happen. I feel like it's clean, tight NDAs for everybody.
But to be fair too, the reason why a lot of that shit happened with Tiger, because once his wife found one, everybody in the woodwork started coming out. Because he was like,
but they didn't have NDAs.
He was a they didn't.
No, but I feel like LeBron NDAs for everybody, and he's not in love.
Tiger was in love. Tiger loved them white women. Like, every one of them, he loved one of them women for something special about them. Like, he was giving it up. And
did he have a mom?
Yeah.
That's my only thing. I don't know.
He just was in his mind, and this is what some people I was watching like a documentary was talking about this. In his mind, he just thought of it as his birthright.
Yeah, but it really messed you up. He had to pay that lady a lot of money and all of the other women too.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't feel like at the time when it was going on that he was doing something. He like I said, he thought it was something that he was deserving of. I'm one of the best golfers, one of the most popular people in the world. Why shouldn't I have multiple women that I care about deeply?
If you had let that lady in on it, because she was willing to let the first couple slide. Like, I watched something about this, but when like number 4, 5, 6 came out, that's when she was like,
he was lying too.
Nigga.
That's because he was lying about it being more. Too, though. So it wasn't like
he was like, baby, this is the only one. Baby, these are the only 3. Baby, this is the only 5. Like, now I'm gonna bleed you dry and leave you for dead.
I mean, it's hard to be. I can understand. I can understand the mental of just being honest about that. So I mean,
because she decided to take it over and over again, even though she was being lied to. And then it just kept getting worse. And she was like, dude, like, I already.
There's an argument that you just got to just take it, though. Like, I
gave you 17 chances.
I'm that nigga. I'm Tiger Woods. You just kind of just got to take it. Like, where else you going to get this Tiger Woods kind of effect? And
nowhere else, but I'm going to just take it from you.
And I think sometimes we get into situations where we be feeling like, are these celebrities feel like I'm that nigga? And it's like, yeah, you are that nigga, but comparatively to the person you with, are you? Because Offset, we back to talking about you again. I get what you're trying to do, and I get how you trying to make her feel, but it's going to get turned on you when she goes on Spaces and gets calm like this.
25. But this morning, motherfuckers decided to disturb my peace. So since people want to disturb my peace, I'm going to disturb everybody's fucking peace myself. I cannot wait to put my album out because I'm going to violate.
Lies,
I
bitch.
really didn't want to put my business out, but I'm going to put my business out in this fucking album. I just...
You ain't doing that. You know all your business.
You know what? Me I told myself,
You ain't got no more business left for the album,
right? That I'm going to let the Lord handle people, and I'm not going to handle people, because I could really ruin people's whole entire fucking life.
When you gonna start doing that?
Today, tomorrow, every single day. My mouth could literally ruin people's lives. But you know what? I just know that God will handle them. They're just not handling these people.
This is not even the interesting part. Where's the interesting part?
By the way, do you guys know that my kids didn't receive no Christmas gifts from somebody in particular? Motherfuckers want to make it seem on social media like I was keeping my kids away from them. Like to make movies on social media, but purposely fly to New York to buy their kids gift. And guess how many gifts did they buy my kids? Zero. And then motherfuckers want to do shit to, you know what I noticed? Every single time that a motherfucker did something publicly to embarrass me, I noticed that they did that on purpose. Because a motherfucker thought that he was gonna ruin my year and have me fucked up like they had me fucked up last year. But I'm so strong. I'm so fucking strong, and it doesn't affect me anymore, that even after you try to ruin me by being spiteful towards me and my kids, I still got my ass up and went to fucking work.
All right, so I do want to preface this by saying that they're both generally just seems like not good people to each other. I
disagree. Offset is a terrible person. He seems like the worst person.
Cardi could be that too. We've seen instances with her being a terrible person in regards to. We just keep looking at it from her standpoint because she's quote unquote getting cheated on.
Quote unquote.
Yeah,
she's getting cheated on.
Yeah, she also allegedly slept with a nigga with the baby in her stomach.
She cheated back once.
That's still crazy. So again, nobody's perfect in this situation. What I'm just doing here is I'm just understanding what could be going through someone's mind, like someone like Offset in a situation like this. Like I kind of understand the game that he playing there, because he knows one of the things that's going to affect her a lot is going to be the treatment of her child in relation to him. So again, if I'm trying to play mental games with you and I'm trying to weaken you,
children shouldn't come into play when you're playing mental games.
Cool. A lot of things shouldn't come into play, but it does. It's a part of it.
It does, but
and that's just what he's doing.
Whenever you do that, you're very wrong, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman. Children should not come into play when you're playing games with your partner. They're literally innocent bystanders in the situation. They shouldn't feel what y'all are going through. If y'all were mature parents, but they didn't feel that.
The only person who felt that was her, though. That's the thing. They have enough to where if they
Daddy was in the house every Christmas for the past couple years, and now we don't even get nothing from him. You don't think they felt that?
You think they know that? No, they don't know that.
How old is Cardi's oldest? She's like 5.
She still don't know the difference between a Christmas without daddy. Regardless, when I'm talking about stuff, not his presence. I'm talking about the actual how much gifts and stuff are around.
No, I'm sure they still got regardless. A bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so it's not going to feel like, oh, because daddy wasn't here, I got less, or it was a lesser experience.
Bro, they felt his presence absence. Lacking. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so that's a totally different thing. She didn't say they didn't see him. He said they didn't get him any gifts. So we don't know if they actually saw each other and spent time.
He showed up and didn't bring any gifts.
Empty-handed. Yeah,
I don't think she would have complained about that.
No, what? Yes, she would have. I could definitely see her.
And then if that was the case, then if I was Offset, I'd have posted pictures of me and my kids on Christmas like, bitch, I was with them.
Okay, that doesn't mean that doesn't stop her from what she said about you not getting gifts if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that big of a deal if he was actually there, but he wasn't there and didn't get them anything.
But to be fair, like I say, he has other kids. He got other.
It don't matter. If you have other kids, you have all these kids and you have gotten all of them Christmas gifts every single Christmas, and now you're using this specifically to spite me, which is immature.
You're conflating things. I'm talking about his presence doesn't necessarily have to be with her set of kids if he has other kids to be with. So that's what I'm talking about. The gifts thing is, again, I just said what it was. It was a tool to manipulate her. Nobody's saying that
he doesn't have to be with them specifically. I'm sure, though, them kids, I don't know.
This is just a tool. These people are both bad people. They're going to both use things that whatever they can.
You're saying
to
they're
manipulate.
both bad people,
They
but
are.
I'm saying Offset is a worse person.
That's fair. I mean, you could think that. I don't think that. I think they're the same. I think they're two sides of the
Of course
same
you
coin.
think that.
I think they're the two sides of the same coin.
That tracks.
I think they're exactly the two people that deserve each other. I think they everything that each other is doing to one of them, they kind of both deserve it. I think it's very evident in that. And it's just
Cardi ain't do shit to Offset though.
we don't know that. We don't know that. We do know
Because Offset is on the internet telling us their business just as much as Cardi is.
Reason we know he's cheating is because of her. So she
of course he wouldn't be come out
she
and
don't
be like,
all
oh,
the business out there.
I'm cheating. I got caught cheating.
Again, she's the one confirming people's statements and putting all the business out there. So all this stuff that we know is because of her.
As soon as he got cheated on, he came and told us, just like she did.
You've been doing the same thing.
So what is your argument?
They're the same.
He didn't come out and say that he was cheating. She did. As soon as she cheated, he came out and was like, "Boo hoo, you cheated with the baby in you."
That's crazy too.
Like, come on now.
And that's like 10 points in the how you determine how bad this is.
I feel like as a partner, he's worse.
They're both bad partners. I can definitely see they're both bad partners.
They're both bad, but I'm saying he's worse.
I would argue. I guess I still haven't seen enough to say that he's just 100% worse. She knew what she was getting on. She's a woman. I seen somebody tweet this a while ago. She's a woman who validates herself through sex, and he's a sex addict. So you got exactly what you're supposed to get.
He's definitely a sex addict.
All right, so let's get into this Lord Jamar.
I don't know none of these people, child.
So no, I just to me, I always enjoy because I seen this happen.
Lord Jamar?
He's a rapper.
What song did he make?
There's nothing that's really you want to go home and brag about, but
let me Google him.
So this is funny because I was a fan of this dude. I'm a listener to this guy's channel, Professor Dave, and
is this him?
Yeah, and he reacted to a video.
Heavy drugs.
You had to at least put a legend on that or something. But no, Professor Dave, he is a scientific communicator, and he goes in when guys say flat earth stuff or ridiculous claims that are anti-science, he will react to their content and call them idiots and dumb and break it down why they're wrong. So in a recent one of his older posts, he was drinking and he was reacting to Lord Jamar's on Godfrey. Godfrey's people end up calling Professor Dave because they were like, hey, I see that you know what you're talking about. We didn't have the tools adequate to respond. Can you come on the show with us? What then commences is probably one of the craziest like murder scenes you'll ever see on the internet. And
from what I'm seeing, Lord Jamar is a hotep.
Yeah, he's one of all that shit.
He's wearing a hat that says Brand Nubian. There's a stack of books. What I see, there's a stack of books on his shoulder really quickly from what I see. African Holistic Health, Rap, Race, and Revolution. How to Hustle and Win. Win is in red bold letters. Yeah, just corny.
Lord Jamar's like one of them niggas who think that he's smart, but he just say dumb shit the entire time. He's one of those kind of niggas. So
why you are against what he believes. How about that?
Yeah, Flat Earth is the dumbest hoax in human history. Jamar just watched some videos by Eric Dubé, who just spews a bunch of bullshit, memorized what he says, and repeats it and pretends to be intelligent. Instead, everything you say is so insanely stupid and can be disproven with, like, middle school level physics.
Really?
So... yeah, we can go ahead and you can rattle off your talking points.
Do you have a working model of a ball that has water sticking to the outside of it? Can you show me a working model of that?
A tennis ball.
Yes. Wet, no. That's not water sticking to a ball. That's saturation of water on the ball. So I want you to show me where water sticks to the outside of a ball as it spins. It doesn't go to the equator of the ball and spin off.
I heard what you said.
Show me a working model. Hang on.
You said something very
Show me a working model.
Okay. The reason that things stick to the Earth is because the Earth is extremely massive, so it generates a very large gravitational field. When water falls off of a ball, whatever ball you're talking about, to the Earth, it's because of the large gravitational field exerted by the Earth. So when you're talking about water sticking to a ball, your desired demonstration of gravity fails because gravity exists.
No.
Things fall to the ground.
There is density and buoyancy, sir. Gravity is not some magical thing that makes things drop to the ground. It depends the medium that it is in. If I drop something in this water, depending on how heavy it is, it's going to sink or float.
Wait, I want you all to talk. But
density
I want to hear both.
First of all, this guy came out real disrespectful, talk about the stupidest shit. Like if he was
because you're a fucking idiot.
He also said fuck Professor Dave before he even started coming on.
Okay.
Like, because you're a full dumbass.
Right,
you know that, right?
What you say to the
you know that, right?
Race, the entire body of scientific knowledge. Let me respond to the insanely stupid thing you said.
I want you to respond to my. Let him talk. Okay, we're gonna talk about what pseudoscience.
Okay, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Density is not a force.
He's calling this man's actual science pseudoscience while he's spewing pseudoscience. It's hilarious. You can't argue with people like that.
It's not a force. It can't make things move. Buoyancy, there's a buoyant force, but it has gravity in the equation. Buoyancy only exists when gravity exists.
When gravity, the secret sauce.
Here's the problem with your density bullshit. You think that things fall down because the air is less dense. The air is less dense above the object too. So why the fuck don't things fall up?
This shit had your fucking brain want to explode.
Fucking asshole. Bubbles go up, you stupid fuck. Fucking evaporation goes up, you dickhead. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's because there's wind.
Because it's lighter than the fucking density it's in. How can a fly defy gravity? How can a fucking tadpole defy gravity, you fucking shithead?
Bubbles fall too.
Yeah, that's what he's fucking
Yes.
does.
How does anything swim through? If
If
gravity
there's not enough wind, the bubble will fall. But if there's wind, the bubble will blow away. That's
of fucking force.
that's just that's children know that.
Lord Jamar does something here when you watch the rest of this article. And it's on Professor Dave's channel to check it out. When you listen to it, he does.
Why is it on Professor Dave's channel?
Well, because Godfrey deleted it.
Why did Godfrey delete it?
Because of Lord Jamar. So basically, well, I'm assuming it's because of Lord Jamar. Because if you watch it throughout the whole thing, he later on says he uses his own celebrity to basically say, "Oh, if you going to continue talking to bro, I need."
You don't have celebrity.
I mean,
by the way,
to them to a degree he does. But no, that's what he was using to try to get Professor Dave off. See what he does, and he said this too, where he talked about, I'm using common sense. What he does is they take their stupid perspectives on things and they try to apply that to in a general sense, even though they don't understand the words that they're using to describe it. You're using words to describe scientific words to describe what you're seeing in reality, but then not having to live with the repercussions of what those words mean in science.
Like he said buoyancy, but then Professor Dave was like, gravity comes into the equation of buoyancy.
Yeah. And with a lot of the stuff that he was saying, because he even talked about weight later on. He was like, what do you think weight is? It's in regards to your mass and the gravitational pull being pulled onto you. So that's where he was just like, you're not smart. And I think a lot of people need to be told that they're not smart and that they're dumb. And
you need to be able to know that there are certain things that you're probably more well versed in than other people, and then there's a lot probably more than the other side of. There's probably a lot of things that you're not well versed in and that other people can teach you about, and this is one of those situations.
But even the sense that with the flat earth, like there are real things that you can see in the world that will show you the world is round.
That's why I think that you can't argue with people who are flat earthers, because
they're being willfully ignorant. They're being willfully stupid. They want to be stupid.
They don't want to listen to facts.
I've been to Australia, so I've been to the southern hemisphere of this planet. There is two different skies. Like you'll go up and look up and you'll see different stars in Australia, different set of constellations in Australia in the southern hemisphere that you will not see when you're in the northern hemisphere. Mm-hmm. Like there's just different things to show that. And if the earth was flat, if we're all looking, you can go look in the southern hemisphere. If like South America, India, Australia, they all see the same sky. But if this was a flat surface, they would not be seeing the same sky because they would be pointing in different directions. Mm-hmm. So like there's this 100% evidence. They've been taking flat earthers to a South Pole to show you the 24-hour sky. Like there's showing where the earth is rotating around something, and it's also a round object in and of itself. It's just so much that you can just.
It's literally a primitive state of mind, because that's what we thought before we had like telescopes and science.
Like when you actually think about it,
and equations.
If you didn't have other tools and mechanics to use, it would make sense that you would think something stupid like the Earth is flat because
you keep walking and you don't fall off.
Yeah.
Or or whatever.
Walking and fall off. That walking and falling off that would be something you would still have to walk far enough to see, but that's neither here nor there. It's just the simple fact that there is tons of evidence to show that this planet has been going on a round surface or something that's more spherical. And these people are trying. Like, I remember when somebody one time sent me documents, and because they were old documents, they tried to assume they had legitimacy.
Who?
It was just this dude that he was actually on the old show. He wasn't one of the co-hosts, but he actually came on the show where he was sending me documents of flat Earth stuff, and I'm sitting here like, bro, people have been stupid for a long time.
I'm trying to guess who it was.
Just because they're old documents doesn't validate what they're saying. Like, people have been stupid for a long time about this. Mm-hmm. There have been flat Earth associations and stuff like that a long time ago because people were wrong initially. And now that we have done more information,
I'm stuck on trying to figure out which one of his friends is a flat earther.
There's a lot of niggas that it's a lot of these niggas that be saying this shit, or they'll agree with this shit, or try to give it credence because it makes them feel. You don't know. It makes them feel.
I'm trying to be messy.
It makes them feel like they know something, or they're on to something that has everybody else fooled. A lot of this stuff, they don't do nothing. People who believe in this shit a lot of times don't have other shit impressive going on. So if a nigga that you know is leading with the flat Earth, more often than not, that nigga ain't got shit else going on. Because the nigga who got shit else going on is going to lead with something other than the flat Earth.
Yeah, like, this is the most interesting thing about me, is that I'm a contrarian to something that has been proven over and over again for decades.
It's just, it's ridiculous. And it's sad too. And like, some people will watch that video and be like, oh, why are you okay with a white man talking shit about a black man like that? And it's like, because he's wrong. And he's making other black men look worse and look stupid. And you're making other, like, literally, if you watch the episode that he was reacting to when Lord Jamar was just allowed to just spew his bullshit with, impunity, like, those dudes in there look so much more dumb because they were sitting there just letting that shit ride. And they felt bad about it too because they couldn't defend themselves with it. But they even go to this one part where, like, and this is the stupidest shit. I hate when people say this too, when they talk about the globe. Oh, people are upside down at the bottom. And it's like, bro, what do y'all think down is? No, but it's stupider because they're saying down in retro to space outside, not until the actual planet, because down is the ground. So if I'm going to the ground, it doesn't matter where I'm at on this sphere. There is no top and bottom of a sphere. Wherever that goes to, there is no down. Like, south isn't down. Like, and this is where it's like, you just see the stupidity within people. Nobody just, oh man, it's infuriating because people really want to believe this shit so bad.
I don't know when the flat Earth thing became a thing.
It was just the internet stuff, man. When it started
gaining traction, I feel like somebody came out and was like, oh, people used to believe this at one point, and then some dumbass was like, oh, that makes sense, and then started trying to rationalize it away. And if enough people say the stupid thing, then other people are going to believe it. And that's what happened with the whole flat Earth thing. I think
grifters are, at the end of the day, are always going to grift. And that they're just going to find places that they're going to be able to look up and, they're going to try to trick people. That's just the real thing about it.
Yeah.
They can't, there's nothing else they can do. All right. Want to get into this red note?
Oh my God. So as you guys know, the TikTok ban is supposed to come into action January 19th.
Yeah, that's Sunday, I believe.
Yeah. I've been seeing things about a TikTok ban extension that will extend it for the next 260 days. There's a congressman that put that into play. I don't know how true that is or if that's going to happen. But TikTok is being banned in a couple days. I'm devastated. The people of TikTok it's a different type of social media over there. So the first couple of videos that I started seeing about Red Note Red Note is the Chinese, like actual Chinese owned version of TikTok. Not version of TikTok because they're two completely different companies, but it's the same type of layout, right? The first couple videos I started seeing about this was like, since the US government doesn't want China to get our data, wouldn't it be hilarious if we just went on a Chinese app and just gave them all our data willingly, like an actual, like, owned by the Chinese communist, like in China based company? Because TikTok is not based in China. They're not based in China. They're also owned mostly by like venture capitalist group that is mostly Americans, if y'all didn't know that. But and they're based out of Singapore, which whatever. They're not fully Chinese. This Red Note app though is fully actually Chinese. So now the Red Note is the number one fastest growing app in the Android and the Apple Store. And everyone has been making jokes. This girl was like, I will literally go on Red Note and make my username my social security password, my social security number. Like, these people, like, they don't give a damn. There are Chinese people who are making videos like, oh, thank you for giving us data, access back to your data. Everyone's like, I will mail my data to China's front door. I don't give a damn. Nobody cares.
I do have to say this though, my leftists, we have been, kind of trying to romanticize this a little bit. The thing about Red Note, I think it's called XHAS or something like that. That's another name.
It's Hang Shangzhu. Yeah. Like, there's a Chinese name for it, but they just call it the Red Notebook.
Well, we got to understand, this is not like us getting into the weeds with the real Chinese, oppressed people.
You know what happened though? Recently, Red Note, I think yesterday, they announced that they're going to be separating the IP numbers, IP addresses of people in China and outside of China, so that they're not going to really be mixing that much anymore. The people who are using the Red Note in China are going to be their own bubble, and the people that are using it outside of China are going to be a different bubble.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's going to be one reason too, but also too, like, this is the Instagram rich kid version app over there. Like, this ain't the workers. These ain't the niggas in the slums. If you want to go to that is going to be Kawushawu. That's going to be the place where you want to see that. Man, they got them niggas living in them huts. Niggas living in the fucking ceramic, not ceramic, but the concrete circles. Mm-hmm. Niggas out there really getting, that's the ones we need to find.
That doesn't appeal to me at all. I don't like seeing poor people live
yes, you do.
Poorly.
You follow, that's one of your favorite things, was the transgender homeless person that you used to watch.
No, there was one girl.
Yeah, that was your people.
Oh yeah, that one. Yes. I used to donate
like
to her, but that's because she black.
Okay, they Asian and poor.
Yeah, I don't.
Shout out to the poor Asians. I rock with that, yo. Like, these are the people we need to be getting on their side. We need to be learning the lingo of the working class.
There are people fully learning Mandarin. Yeah. I seen niggas get on TikTok like shit.
Oh shit.
Like,
we need to learn that
Chinese sentences.
We need to learn that urban dialect. I mean, the rural dialect, not the urban one, not the city dialect. We need to be knowing how to
there's like
talk.
A formal Mandarin and a casual Mandarin.
Because I'm seeing,
and then I don't know if there's a poor people Mandarin.
I'm seeing these folks huts Probably and stuff. Not. Like, they got way better. They do homeless better than us. In China,
they do everything better than us in the Asian countries. They're even poor better than us
because, like, they having little cookouts and stuff with each other. Ain't no heroin, no needles on the ground. They just pour together.
Well, yeah, but their homelessness is not mostly because of drugs. It's mostly because of like disenfranchisement, and then a lot of people just choose to be homeless because the pressures of living
that's if they
in
leave
that type
the
of
city
society
and go in there and they go into the rural area. You'll have people doing that. But I mean, like, just to see that the way that they living out there and comparative to what you see like the homeless people living, it's very similar, but it's just more unity. Like, you can see that they helping each other out.
I was just about to say, and their society is different. The way that they think in their community is different. China's cleaner because they think about each other and they don't want to litter for other people because they don't want their country to be dirty. Like
even they don't even really look dirty. They just look like they haven't bathed in a while. Like it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they look like they got marks and stuff all they face, like they not cleaning themselves up. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, you can just tell that maybe he ain't
there's probably
got a hot bath in a while.
There's probably a better sense of community there because they take care of each other a little bit better than we do. There's more of a sense of individualism in the United States. And then in Asian countries specifically, like there's more of a sense of togetherness. So I feel like that's probably why you see them all like
too. They tents look flyer.
You know, like those giant like concrete tubes that you'll see probably.
It's usually when they do work on the side of the road and stuff like that.
Yeah, like they might be doing something underwater or something like that. Like that's what their tubes are in. Like they're giant metal
like cement tubes.
Like they're protected from the elements. The tubes are not moving.
But like that can't be a comfortable. Like some of them niggas was sleeping in that shit like vertical. I mean, not vertical, horizontal with it. That can't be. Like they wasn't parallel with the tube.
No, I feel like maybe if you have some type of padding under the tent, then you might be okay.
I'm just saying the back, if you sleeping in the tube like that, your back is going to be killing you.
You know what about the red note is hilarious though? There was this, you remember I told you yesterday that the CEO came out and made a video welcoming all of the Americans to the app. That was not the CEO at all. He didn't even say he was the CEO in the video. There's multiple videos of him reacting to like the millions of views the shit got on TikTok. And he was like, why do they, I didn't even say. He was like, when in the video did I say I was the CEO? He knows how to speak English and everything. I think his girlfriend was showing him the video. It was the same day. He was in the same hat and sweater. And he was like, why are they doing this? He's like, oh my God. There's like a man and woman pair that are the CEO of the Red Note. But it's really funny.
Hey man, China, this is how we joke. So just you guys gonna have to get used to that.
The Chinese are making jokes about Luigi Mangione. They've been making. There was one guy in China who was learning about the American healthcare system, and he was shocked. And he was like, "I no wonder why you guys are backing this guy up."
No, it was another dude who was on there who he was like going on like a rant and all that other stuff. He was like, "Tiananmen Square never happened." Like.
There was this one other guy who was like, I welcome the Americans. You can be gay. Just stop talking about it. And then everyone was in the comments like, I didn't expect the homophobia. Everywhere outside of America, you should expect homophobia. This is the place that it's the most okay in, I feel like. Everywhere else.
Most people, you got to be gay and silent.
You're gonna get hate crimed. I'm sorry. Like as Americans, gayness is mad normal to us. Gays, guns. I wish there was another G that could make that cool.
Gays, guns.
Yeah, like very American.
We got Germans too here. Gays, guns, and Germans.
No. Gays, guns, and germs. America.
All right. So I mean, y'all check it out, man. Don't go to Red Note though. Go to the Kaubi Shabi or whatever that shit is.
I'm gonna Red Note. I don't know what to tell you.
You be liking to be with the fucking fake bougie people, man. Get it out the mud with the real ones, dog.
No.
Get it out the fucking mud.
Poor people.
Don't say that. That's disgusting. Don't
scare me.
All right, dog. That's fucked up.
You know what happened today though? I was at the gas station. There was this guy outside the gas station. He was like, he had a little note or card that was like cash for money. I was like, I walked up to him. I was
cash for money?
No, he was like, oh no, cash for food. He was like, give me cash for food. And I was like, I don't got no cash, but you can follow me in here and pick out whatever you want.
That was swell of you. That was nice of you.
Yeah, and this nigga picked out chips and Snickers, the whole in a can of soda, not a bottle of water or nothing. I was like, you don't want to get a pack of ramen, a bottle of water?
What the fuck
like you
can
can
do with the ramen, nigga?
You can do whatever the fuck. Like you don't want to get some water.
The fuck he supposed to do with some ramen though?
Maybe get like a pack of vitamin C.
Supposed to make some broth? Like what the fuck?
get a pack of vitamin C. It's getting cold, you know. Like they had gloves back there. I was really gonna let this nigga rock and like ball out.
See, that's the thing about niggas like you. Like when niggas be doing shit for the homeless and shit, they be thinking that they should be able to coach them niggas through their oppression. My nigga, I
didn't coach nothing.
No,
I
you over here criticizing the nigga off of his fucking.
You said coach selection. Though.
Yeah, you over
coaching
here
criticizing or because I criticized after the fact.
Well, you can coach and criticize. Those are two things that.
But I did ask him. I was like, you didn't
look at that.
I was like, you didn't want any.
Look at that.
I was like,
Coaching
no, because before I was like, they don't have any hot food in here because it was the gas station.
What was it?
And
gas
he was
station?
Yeah, it was in Buckhead.
I'm saying which gas station though? If it's a QT, you got hot food.
No, it wasn't a QT.
Oh, okay.
It was like a BP. I think
BP might got some hot food in there.
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
Buckhead doesn't have a lot of gas stations. I don't know if like you drive around Buckhead, but there's like 3 gas stations in Buckhead. It's very weird.
They want you to take the Ubers.
Yeah. But I looked around and I was like, oh, ain't no hot food in here, huh? So then I just let him rock.
So if he would have got some hot, if it was hot food, you would have made him get a certain amount of hot food?
No. I would have let him get whatever amount of stuff he wanted to get. If he spent $100 in that gas station, then I would have paid for $100 worth of whatever the fuck he picked out. But he picked out a bunch of snacks, and then I pointed out the ramen, and then I was like, hold on, and I looked around. I was like, ain't no hot food in here. This is all you can get.
I got a funny story. So it was one time I was with my sister, and I think it was with her boyfriend or somebody like that. We was in the car together, and it was a homeless white dude came up to the car and, you know, was asking for some money. And I guess the dude, my sister's boyfriend, was trying to give him $5, but accidentally gave him a 20. And so he gave him the dude grabbed a 20. He looked at her boyfriend was like, God bless. And that nigga took off to the liquor store. Like we could see the liquor store was in like view. And so we seen this nigga running. Like I ain't never seen a nigga move so fast to the liquor store.
That's
oh my God, that shit was terrible. So fun.
I don't do that though. I don't give homeless people cash. Like
that's hate.
If
I just don't give homeless women money. You was born with a moneymaker, honey. If you're not going to use it properly, that's not my job. I'm only give money to men that are homeless.
That's fucked up. But I don't give homeless white people money.
I used to be like
you
that
were
too.
Born in privilege.
I can see that.
You used it incorrectly, and now you're homeless.
See, the thing
that's
is,
your fault. That's on you.
I see, but I didn't understand that. Like sometimes they be like vets and shit like that. So that's why I be kind of have a little more empathy. A lot of times they be like vets that didn't get their VA. But no, I don't give. Like I remember one time when I was in college, I was like walking out to Walmart, and it was like this lady, and she had like 2 or 3 kids sitting by the door. It was just her and 2 or 3 kids sitting by the door, and I'm just like, nah, shawty, you don't love them kids enough to sell that little money maker. You don't really need this dollar like that.
Nah, if they in front of a store, then I'm gonna be like, just walk in with me. Let me just pay for whatever you need. Like I've done that. Like if you're in front of a store and you're holding a sign that says you need food, and I can walk you in there with me and buy you food.
If your jaw work, you can make $1. So my thing is, I'm not.
The same goes for men though.
I'm not going for that. No, not necessarily. Because see, you doing something that
we're in Atlanta though, where we are as a man. If your jaw works, you can make $1. So your logic is fucked.
The reason why I wouldn't say that is because as a woman, you could still be engaging in the sexual act that you would normally engage in if it was a consensual, normal act. Like you would still be engaging with men. For a man to say you have to now do something gay to get money is a different request. Because now you're saying I'm giving my body, but I also have to give off my sensibilities.
But no, your point before was you were born with the tools to help you make the money. So was the man. He got a mouth and a booty hole.
No, that ain't the same tool. That pussy a different tool.
Yeah.
Pussy a different tool.
You see how? You see?
I'm willing to be open with my differences.
Y'all
it's a different tool.
Y'all see my logic, and then y'all see how this
is a different tool. Just being honest with you. Like that,
you can't make it work.
You can go and find multiple.
Make this work.
You can go multiple places in nature. I was watching the History Channel. I'm not History Channel, but the National Geographic, and they were talking about this female lion who slept with 2 different lions, and there was one lion was the father of the other lion. and she slept with both of them because they reigned over like the east and the west of the plane they were on. And basically, because her kids smelled like both of them, she was able to go from both sides with no problem. And so that's what I'm saying. Y'all tool is a different tool than the dick tool. That's all.
You're not about to compare us to fucking actual wild animals in the wild. That's so stupid. That's such a man thing to do.
I just did.
That's invalid.
All right, let's get into this other story that I saw on the internet today. So it was essentially Sam I Am. Our sons are aware that if they have babies out of wedlock, they'll lose their inheritance for them and will have to start from scratch. We were clear about this prior to having children. Most boys are comfortable with doing this, and it's because they have zero standards, expectations, and inheritance. You have to incentivize good behavior and decisions. So this kind of got people up in a, it made people upset.
People were upset.
Yeah. Which I can
don't
understand.
have parents that set boundaries and guidelines for them. This is what parents do.
This is not a boundary and a guideline. To
My
me,
parents had a bunch of fucking like a laundry list of rules for me.
But it's a difference between what this is, because you can have rules, and if you don't break those rules, if you break those rules, then we try to figure out a way to learn from that and go from there. This right here,
it was if you break these rules, you get sent back to Haiti.
Okay, still you're learning from it, going back and you're learning.
Just harsh consequences.
But you're learning, and it was
because of the consequence being so dire. It made me want to fall in line and follow. What I could
also argue that that's not a good result either, too. Well, one thing is this:
you can always argue that authoritative and a little bit more lax gets you two different results.
Well, I would say with this right here, one of the things I would argue about this is you're not necessarily doing what you think you're doing and helping them, because you can set up a standard, but at the end of the day, it's not on them if a baby is born. It's on a woman. If the baby is born, it's on a woman. Because like I said, they could be protected. They could be doing all the steps and something can still happen. So to say that, to me, is you're putting them in a position where you want to destroy them if they don't conduct their life in a way that you want to.
It's a tiny bit harder for them to control because they have boys, but it's still not like a crazy boundary.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that it's a crazy boundary. I'm just saying that the point that I think people are trying to.
What are people saying about this? Like, why are people in arms about this? Are they saying it's controlling?
Yeah, they're trying to. It's manipulative. It's controlling. One of the things too that you can kind of say about it is like it's creating an unreal expectation for them, because granted, yeah, they cannot have kids till they marry, but again, it's not within their control. If a woman gets pregnant off of their actions,
use condoms. Don't be coming in everything.
But you can still use a condom and someone get pregnant. Like that's
but the likelihood is much lower.
The point that I'm saying is that when you put that in their guidelines, one, you're also destroying your own legacy, because the fact that he has a kid isn't going to necessarily negatively affect his future, but the fact that he doesn't have your backing
is going to negatively affect it.
Like, this is like what reminds me of when people get upset where like you'll see stories where girls will go on there and be like, oh, my sister had a baby and her mom does everything for her and the baby, but like with me and my 6-figure job, she doesn't help me with anything. It's like, well, duh, bitch. You figured it out. You got a good outcome. Your sister got a kid.
Yeah.
That kid needs you. That next generation needs you, and you're going to destroy your generation because you have this like prudy idea of how your kid is supposed to have a life. And instead of understanding, hey, life happens. Let's make sure we continue to grow our family.
I think you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, because it's an inheritance, right? So it's like if they pass, if both of them are gone. If both of them are gone when the son has a child out of wedlock, then they wouldn't have access to that inheritance. But who's to say that if like a son has a child while they're still there, their grandparent instincts aren't going to kick in and they're not going to do everything for that child regardless.
Yeah, but even then, you're still pump faking. So now you're just trying to make yourself sound like you.
They're just trying to scare their kids, but that's something parents do. Like that's very much a parent tactic.
When you put it on the internet, you put it up for a different level of scrutiny.
Yeah, that I will criticize. Putting your parenting on the internet for other people to judge is weird as hell, because that leaves your children up for judgment and scrutiny too, which I feel like is your job as a parent to shield your child from that.
And also,
them having this set of rules for their children. I've never been a prude in my life, but I've generally always been against having children out of wedlock.
Also, people are talking about this as some type of level of prevention. It's not really a level of prevention more than it is you're going to like deter them in a way that kind of like, remember we was talking about Lil Baby and how he has a creative block because he doesn't want to get caught up in the RICO type shit. Yeah. Like you're creating more of that than you do anything else. Like you're going to create them to have bad responses if they do mess up. So could you imagine this kid, he does mess up and now he's thinking about losing his inheritance and what he'll do to this girl if she don't get rid of the kid?
No,
like,
100%.
You're putting your kid in a position where now he's thinking about what I really can lose if something like this happens, and now it's something that's not even in his control.
Do you think it's hard not to get somebody pregnant? Because my thing since I've been in high school, I've been saying this since I was in high school, it's not that hard not to get pregnant.
I mean, it depends on who you are.
And it's not that hard not to get somebody pregnant. Like if you have this, because I'm thinking, right? If my parents have been telling me this since before I started having sex, I'm gonna be like on some, are you comfortable with abortions? Like before we sleep together, if you get pregnant right now, would you want to keep it? Are you comfortable with getting rid of the baby? If I was one of those boys, that's something that I would ask. Like, I feel like they would just learn how to move different. A woman can change her mind completely. She can get emotional and change her mind 100%. That's always a possibility. But I'm just saying, I've always thought that not getting pregnant was not hard. I've been not getting pregnant for 30 years.
I mean, yeah, it just depends on. I wouldn't say not.
It's niggas who've been not having babies for mad. Most of my friends have been not getting bitches pregnant for mad long.
Yeah, it just depends on your access. A lot of people, some people don't have access to certain things. I would imagine these kind of individuals would have access to,
like I'm saying getting pregnant.
But it doesn't mean that niggas wasn't going raw. That just means niggas didn't get the girl pregnant. Like that don't mean they wasn't taking the chances. Like that's the thing that you're not assuming. You're just looking at it from an outcome based thinking.
No, I'm just
just because I know niggas who was letting it rip in bitches and they just didn't get pregnant. Like that was, I know niggas who was doing that.
That's not what I'm when I say not getting pregnant is not hard. Don't come in nobody. Like that's what
I'm saying though. Even though
like that's how I didn't get pregnant.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's still other things that are natural. Just because you didn't go to full ejaculation in her, that doesn't mean things weren't coming out during the process. And that happens. So niggas are still taking those chances, and some niggas are being luckier than others. That's the thing. So again, this isn't necessarily a preventative measure. It is a deterrent.
It's not.
It's a deterrent, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if it were to go to the least ideal outcome, you're destroying your generations and your family by doing it. That's the problem I have with it.
Yeah,
you shouldn't. Easy to make it short. You shouldn't make something like that a punishment. That shouldn't be considered a punishment, and that's what you do when you say that.
If you're adamantly against your children having children out of wedlock, what would you do as a parent as a preventative measure instead of this?
First, you have to understand within yourself there is no such thing as a preventative measure in this. All you can do is educate.
A deterrent, like you said.
A deterrent is teaching them, having them learn certain things and understand, hey,
comprehensive sexual education.
Yeah, you want to put yourself in the best position. Now, if they choose to do that or not, that's going to be on them. But you want to at least show them, like, hey, there's a ways that you put yourself in the best position if you're going to do this.
That's my plan. I plan on having blunt conversations with my child about sex, about the terms, about everything, no matter how uncomfortable it was for me. My mom had 17 sex talks with me. It was wildly uncomfortable. I hated it, but she was a nurse. She had the talks with me, and then I've always also said this. I had a wildly comprehensive sexual education in middle and high school. Like, it was very detailed. So I think education is the best deterrent. And my plan is to overly educate my child like my mom did.
I mean, that's always the best that you can do. And if something happens, just something happens. I just don't
Like
think
every 3 months that woman was sitting me down and having a sex talk. I was like, God damn, woman.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like if your choice is to say, I'm about to essentially shun my kid from the resources we develop, you're just destroying your own family at the end of the day. So you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, I feel like I do agree with you. But then I kind of don't disagree with the parents either. Like, it's your choice to fuck up your own family.
I just feel like when it's black families, you don't really need to be playing like that.
Mm-hmm. I give the children the money. Yeah, you're right.
So I just think this is hilarious. So we haven't really covered the California wildfires a lot on the show. I think because for me, I've just kind of been like at a crossroads with it because I know that there's like a lot of rich people losing, but also know there's like normal people there as well that are just trying to like survive. But I just think
there's one town, not Pasadena. There's another town, Alton, something. It's one of the first counties, the first black county in California that black people were able to get homes in, and that's one of the towns that was affected in the fires. There were like 7 black people that died, and that's very unfortunate. So there were like not affluent, just regular middle class black people's neighborhoods that were affected by this fire. So hearts out to them, to all the rich people who have insurance. You'll be fine. You'll be okay.
And if you've been seeing like Elon and them have been pushing a concerted effort, especially on X, to make it seem as though this is 100% because of the failures of the California local government and some of their choices in regards to like DEI and all that other bullshit. Well, he goes on Spaces thinking he's going to, expose everything and get the word out. And so here's Elon talking to a firefighter on Spaces.
So, all right, what about water availability? Was water availability? I understand that was like not an issue in Malibu. Is that correct?
Was it water?
Yeah.
So there was water. We have several reservoirs that encinos that we use a lot. Now, just an example, if we have one building burning, we could flow 1,000 gallons a minute on that one building with the hose lays that we put in to stop it. You can imagine 1,000 gallons per house we couldn't do, right? So the amount of water we're flowing, there really is no water system that's going to keep that pace. So we have to bring in water tenders, which are these big tank water tanks at 2,500, 3,000 gallon trucks, and they'll come in. And that's what we have to do to compensate. So they park out there, do it. DWP did a great job. They brought in big water trucks for us, and we use them as basically mobile hydrants.
All right.
Right, and then we have our own agency as well that has water tenders.
Okay.
So he's going to start
my
being thirsty.
Is that like along the maybe I'm
no pun intended.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Along in Malibu, along the coast, there was no shortage of water. In the Palisades, there was a shortage of water at a certain point. Or is that not accurate?
Well, we were flowing just an amount of water that the system couldn't overbear. That we're just overbearing, just because of how much water these firefighters were utilizing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So it wasn't a California issue. It was a infrastructure issue, which people have been complaining about for years in this country, that our infrastructure needs to be better. They didn't have the infrastructure to get the water that they needed, that they had, to the areas because it couldn't contain how much water they would need. The system itself couldn't contain the amount of water
California is wildly hilly, so like
and it was windy too.
They don't have fire hydrants like New York does. Like they can't get the water to where they need to get the water.
And then the
which
gravity
you would
too.
think at this point, California's infrastructure would support like.
Well, you got to think too that the infrastructure has not been a focus in this country. Like building up.
That's not a thing. Yeah.
It's
in
like
the United
we talk
States
about our roads and how they have been
railroads.
Updated. The fact that we haven't been moving to a place where our infrastructure should be.
And if we were, then people wouldn't the economy would be better because people would be getting paid.
And people would get more work. Yeah, people would give you more work to help with the infrastructure and things of that nature.
So Altadena is the neighborhood that I was telling you about, the black neighborhood that was
apparently
very negatively
John
affected.
Brown's son was the one who founded it. John Brown, the abolitionist who was killed. His son was the one who founded it. But no, I just wanted people just to have a better understanding because, again, yeah, has there been flaws in certain things? Yeah, but it's not in the aspect of direct results from, hey, the government is doing X, Y, and Z. It's just the fact that we have been limiting infrastructure because people don't want to keep investing that properly. Like, that's the real thing.
There was also like a running out of water thing going on in California. And I recently learned that California's water is owned, a lot of it is owned by a privately held agricultural business called Wonderful Company. They don't own most of it, but they own a good amount of it. So their names are Stuart and Linda Resnick. A very long time ago, they had like a secret meeting that divided up California's like water, and they own a good amount of it. So they own, they have a majority stake in a water bank that can store 1.5 million acre feet, close to 500 billion gallons of water. But that's a small fraction of the state's water supply. But the fact that two like billionaires can own a portion of California's water supply is
Bill Gates own water.
Absolutely insane.
Bill Gates been buying and owning bodies of water too.
So California's groundwater basins combined can hold 566 times as much water with storage capacity of 850 million to 1.3 billion acre feet, according to the California Department of Water Resources. And they have 500 billion gallons of water that they can store.
So we'll see how this turns out. Again, the fire is still going on, right? There's still fire. From what I've seen, it looked like the fires have still been going on.
I didn't see that they were still going on. I thought that they
fire
were
activity update 2 active fire. So
damn, still
it's tough, man.
It's the wind.
Yeah, it's the wind.
It's the fact that the trees are basically combustible.
Yeah, there's a lot of flammable production from it. So
yeah, the sap from that trees is highly flammable.
Shit it sucks out there. So hopefully, things can get better out there. They can quell that and future be, limit these things from happening. So we'll see that.
Yeah.
I do want to also talk about, so I've been trying so hard to confirm this story about this gentleman who unalived himself after being exposed on a video. So essentially the video is
after exposing himself on a video.
He didn't expose himself on video. He was exposed on a video.
He had come to that establishment and exposed himself before, which is why the lady came out with the camera.
So basically this place is like a Starbucks version of Hooters. So it's
a coffee shop and the baristas are in bikinis.
A little bit of sex work is being led with this, and the guy comes up there, and they say this happens a bunch of guys that come up there and they'll come and have like their pants off or be naked in their cars.
Mm-hmm.
And this one woman recorded this individual who was nude. He had his pants off in his car,
and he had done that at that location multiple times, which is why she recognized him. She came out and she asked him had he been there before. She already knew he had been, and when you see. Like she looks into the car with the camera and he does not have any pants on.
And it looked like his hand was on his dick too.
Yeah, so he was fully like ready to pleasure himself in this establishment. Not in this establishment.
You see him drive off, and then it gets reported that he unalived himself from the embarrassment of said, revealing of the photos.
Mm-hmm.
And it also was noted that he had kids and a family. And this is my thing is, I'm gonna be dead ass about this. If this is true that this man killed himself from these actions of this video coming out, that woman who posted it should get involuntary manslaughter.
No, she shouldn't.
Yes, she should.
I'm so fucking shocked because this is somewhere where like you're not allowed to masturbate, right? This is a coffee shop. Like they're in bikinis, but this is basically Hooters. Like you can't come into Hooters with your dick out. This nigga has come to this place multiple times with his dick out. terrorizing the women in there, which is why she came out in the first place with the camera out, so that she could get some type of evidence, so that something could be done in like banning him, getting a restraining order, something like that. That's why she took the video. Her posting it on social media, I get that was a different choice. But if you do creepy ass shit, then you have to deal with the consequences. She should not have any consequence whatsoever for this. You, a creepy ass man, came in and did some creepy shit, and then you exposed him, and because of the embarrassment, he killed himself. That's not my fault. If I expose a creepy nigga and he kills himself, I'm gonna applaud myself.
Okay, so am I gonna be able to speak without being interrupted?
Go ahead.
So, again, I feel you that if he does come to your establishment and he does something that is clearly illegal, that you should bring that to the authorities. But if what's being reported is they posted that to embarrass him, like they put that with the sole purpose of not to get justice, but to embarrass him, this is problematic. Simple fact is, hey, I understand what kind of establishment this is, but you're still dealing and dabbling in the dark arts of sexuality. So this is a byproduct of it. Again, the authorities can come in and swiftly clean up those things and make sure, these individuals are charged for whatever offense they've done. But once you go out there with the purpose to shame him and he takes that and makes it his 13th reason, you should be liable for that. You should. I'm not saying she got to go to jail. She can get some community service or do some probation, but no, you should be liable for that because that should have only been put in the hands of the police officers, and then the police could do what they want after that.
I'll agree with community service, and it should have been put in the hands of the police officers. But that woman shouldn't step foot in jail. She shouldn't see, and she should get like 15 hours of community service for real.
Yeah, I'm just saying voluntary manslaughter. That's what this is involuntary.
Charged with nothing in 15 hours of community service.
Just because you put it out there and you just wanted to make him look bad, like that still can affect someone's mental health and result in them taking their life. So I mean,
because like the same thing, like what if a nigga pulled up to a park with his dick out and then somebody posted it, and then before the police, even if somebody like didn't get the police involved, they killed themselves, would you have the same sentiment?
If you put it out with the sheer intent on embarrassing that person, not to expose them or find, like when I say expose, like find who they are, their name and things like that, that would be different.
So,
but that's not what was going. That's what I'm saying. From what I've read, that was not what was going on. It was posted to embarrass them.
When do you have the caption of what she posted when she posted it?
I haven't seen the original post from it.
Okay, so I feel like if you didn't see the original post, then you don't know the actual.
I'm talking about what I intent. Preface said that the things that I've researched and when people were talking about it, they were saying that they did it with the intent purposes to embarrass him.
Okay.
That's all I'm going.
I feel like if I don't see the actual original post with the caption, and if those people, like the articles you read didn't include the actual post with the caption, then you can't really, like, you can't.
I'm literally prefacing everything I'm saying with that. If they did this with this intention, then that's why they should be in jail. I'm not saying that anything happened factually. I'm saying my intent. If these were the intentions, if this what happened from what I've read, then you should. That's involuntary manslaughter 100%. 100% of the time.
I feel like you should be able to expose creeps whenever you want, and if they kill themselves, then you probably should get a Medal of Honor.
Yeah, see, that happens, but then that word creep can be used. Who's a creep and who determines who's a creep?
If you have your dick out anywhere in public.
I mean, I feel you, but then it comes out to wherever you just.
I feel like that's maybe we can start the goalpost there. Dick out in public.
I just don't think that just your dick out in public, then now anybody can do anything.
No, I said we can start the goalpost.
I know, but I'm saying the response is I don't think that you should have have impunity because he got his dick out in public.
What do you mean?
Where he got his dick out in public, you can now push his picture everywhere to embarrass him. That's what I'm saying.
No, but he was in public. You can put anybody in public's picture anywhere.
Videotape it, but you can't put you can videotape it, but then put that on other sites and other places, that's when they have rules against that. You can't just sit here if you're
in public,
if you're live streaming on IG, right? And you live stream, you got the video going, and then a nigga just walking around butt ass. you can get your stream cut off because he's
because nudity is.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean. There's different things to take that. You actually capturing it from him, you're not getting sued for, but they're not going to allow you to now just show a nigga with a dick out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you shouldn't be punished.
And to me, it's all about your intention. That's part of the law, is your intention. So.
I feel like when it comes to somebody who has their dick out in public, your intention of why you recorded that video, whether you wanted to embarrass them or not, doesn't matter, because why is your dick out in public?
See, I don't agree with that. That's all.
Why is your dick out in public? Tell me any rational reason other than a psychotic break that you would have your dick out in public, that it is okay.
Whack 100 beat me up.
Let's move on.
Just saying, that could be a reason why my dick out.
Let's move on.
Whack 100. All right, we can finish.
When I saw
here.
this, I genuinely, I was like, I feel bad that he has kids and stuff, but like, you made your own bed and now you had to kill yourself in it.
I don't think he had. Well, I don't think
you didn't have to kill yourself in it.
He got pushed into it by embarrassment.
You made your bed and then you killed yourself in it.
Well, we can finish up right here with our last topic. So, Jaewon has no longer with the podcast, the Joe Budden podcast.
We don't feel a difference. You were on 2 episodes.
He was doing mostly Patreon. It was funny though because he was talking to us.
They subscribe to Patreon, nigga.
It was funny though because he was talking to us about it, and he was like, "Oh, we already had this idea. It was going to be a 3-month contract or whatever." Felt like a little bit less than 3 months because he wasn't on the show the December much. Like I think it was maybe a couple episodes of Patreon that he did, but. It's funny that seeing them let go because Joe this morning on the show that released said that they didn't lose anybody. They looking to add additions, and it's just kind of funny to see where in the grand scheme it's like, oh, maybe that's where he didn't view Jaewon as maybe as valuable as people may have perceived. Mm-hmm. Because it was funny when he was talking to us about it. He was basically trying to say like, hey, this is what it was about. He was trying to figure out, if this is something he want to do, and Joe potentially may get a show for him in the future. But nothing sounds like that with how things are being responded. For the fact Joe was on Spaces, didn't even know Jaewon wasn't coming back. Like, so he wasn't really even aware that he was wrapping up with the contract. Also, the fact he tried to act like, oh, this isn't nothing new. But the fact the contract was so short doesn't seem like anything we've seen from Joe in the past. Joe is at least going to do a year or 2 contract with you if he sees the value. And then the fact that he's not fighting to keep you to stay on the show, it just goes to show where they didn't see this as a valuable engagement. I don't think they got what they really wanted from it. And I think it's
with Jaewon.
Yeah. I mean, and partly I just don't think he has the verbiage to resonate what he's trying to say. And when it comes out, instead of him sounding like a fresh voice or a fresh idea, he sounds like the dude. Remember, like back when we was coming, I was the guys trying to bring back the 90s. Especially New York niggas had that like for a while, where there was always some guys trying to bring back the 90s and the 80s. So you didn't have that? When I was out here in Georgia, the niggas that was moved down here from New York was always trying to relive the 90s and the 80s, trying to do kid and play shit. Like that's what I get from when I listen to him.
They was from Harlem.
I don't know who it was. I didn't care to ask.
I'm kidding. But like it's mad corny old niggas. That's
not my point with him. My point is with him.
It's people from every state that try to relive.
To me, instead of feeling like a modern young nigga, he feels like he's trying to be a copy of what young niggas was 3 decades ago. And that's where, to me, it doesn't feel like it resonates in what Joe would have wanted from that young artist or that young podcaster. Because that's what we always say. The thing that he's doing with the guests coming in and out and changing out was stuff that we've been talking about in Spaces a long time ago. And we've even said he needs to have a younger voice. But I just don't think Jaewon being that younger voice fits, because
it doesn't.
If you listen to him on Spaces too, like he doesn't necessarily
can't
argue his point. He doesn't argue his point good.
He can't hold his own at all. Also, you know who I enjoy? Mark?
Yeah, Mark Lamont Hill.
Yes. Mark Lamont Hill is a very good addition to that show because he's smarter than all them niggas except...
No, he's smarter than everybody in the room.
He's the communicator.
So, do we feel like Jaewon was a missing part of the show that is going to be needed in the future? Do you think Joe is going to be upset that he let him go?
I only watched that one episode that Jaewon was on, which is like the first episode. That's the only one that I that I consumed with him on. From that episode, I was really excited to have him be a continuous part of the show, because he would agree with some of the old nigga takes, but then he would kind of like fight back. I want there to be, it wouldn't have worked with Jaewon, but I want there to be someone young who can fully like actually argue with like Ish, because I feel like Ish has the most like solid old nigga views out of everybody. Would you agree with that? Ish is the light skinned one, right? Mm-hmm. I was confusing them for a while. I feel like the light skinned one should be Ice. But I feel like Ish has the most like old hood nigga views. He gives me kind of like Maul vibes, like off the strength, off the like.
It's funny that you say Maul, because I think with Jaewon, that was what a lot of people said they reminded him of, was Maul, but it was like all of Maul's bad qualities, like trying to be too cool, identifying with like bad politics, in regards to like how people conduct themselves, or in regards to different responses and things of that nature. So I think, to me, with him, like I said, he's just young. He doesn't have the ability at this point to explain his points in a way that is conducive and makes sense. Like, he doesn't really land on it. It sounds very empty and immature. And I think that's just what was getting exposed. Where it's like, you got to be able to, when you up there with them, you got to be able to stand on your own, and you can't have instances like Flips going off on you and Joe taking it out. Hold on,
do you think? Okay.
You can't have instances where Flip is taking shots at you and Joe's taking it out because, oh, well, I don't want my man's son to come out. If we being honest, this what it looks like. This was Joe using Jaewon to massage other relationships. Yeah, I'll put a little money in your pocket. You know, your dad will be happy. He'll see you doing, something positive. And now, boom. But I think that was the main thing what Joe's intentions was to do that. Was I'm trying to create goodwill outside of other things that have almost little to do with Jaewon, and his success is neither here nor there. It's a byproduct of what I'm really trying to do. If it is, cool. If it isn't, I don't need it. So, but we'll see how he continues on with it. What he goes on with his career. I highly doubt Joe's going to bring him back on for a show unless he's able to like curate some type of either someone with a big buzz, or he himself maybe goes on like a social media rant and was able to garner some type of real like popularity from that. Because again, even from him, like this is my first time even being made familiar with him, and apparently he's been rapping for a few years now. So we'll see if he's able to turn it on, for himself. But
I don't like New York rappers that be trying to rap like old New York niggas. Like,
yeah, he gives me a lot of King Combs with a lot of the shit that he does.
Let it go.
Like he's trying to take his dad's heyday and extend
I'm tired of that little dance that Kim Combs be doing.
He just trying to be his daddy.
Like, we're tired. We tired. We're tired, and it's corny, and it makes us cringe. And you need to fucking stop. You need to develop your own identity. And if you don't, fine, just be a fucking Nepo baby. Like,
that's the thing that bothers me with it, is that one, I'm not really a fan of his music. I don't really like his voice, but to me, it's just like,
I don't like his voice, his face, or the way he moves.
But to me, the issue I have with like him trying to like fight these Nepo baby allegations.
You're a Nepo baby.
Being a Nepo baby is something you're not in control of determining. Once you have that,
that's it.
Once somebody finds out who your dad is, they're going to change how they respond to you.
And we've known who your dad was since you were born. Your dad is a look at me, flashy, looky ass nigga.
But like, even this though, he's not doing like no James Washington type shit where he's like trying to disassociate.
John Boyega?
No, James Washington.
Oh, okay.
John was John David Washington, but I just called him John Washington.
Oh, okay. Oh,
John David Washington, Denzel's son.
Yeah.
He's not even doing what Denzel's son was doing. What Denzel was
them up.
Making himself. Denzel's son was trying to make sure people didn't associate him with Denzel. Mm-hmm. And with Jaewon, it's like you're not doing. Once your dad is seen and is doing interviews with you and stuff like that, that's a part of you're embracing it, which is not a bad thing. But you're just embracing it, so you can't
just
get mad
because
at that.
We don't know that your father is Denzel Washington. I'm not taking anything away from your talent, sir, but that doesn't mean that the casting producers don't know that your father is Denzel Washington.
He was making concerted efforts not to make sure people didn't know who his dad was, like his agent.
Was his dad making concerted effort to make sure?
They wasn't seen together. They wasn't seen together like that.
I was about to say
they didn't start like he even said like he didn't even start making like appearances out with his dad until he started getting more reputable. Like once he
I
got
didn't
older,
see him with his dad at all.
yeah, you just videos of him when he was a little boy with his dad, like going to the Eagles game and shit like that. And then you don't see him more with his dad.
You
until
know
he got
what's
older.
crazy? There was this one dude on the internet who everyone was saying was Morris Chestnut's son for mad long, and I thought he was Morris Chestnut's son for mad long. Turns out Morris Chestnut's son don't look like Morris Chestnut whatsoever. It's very, very sad. Like that Morris Chestnut's son looked like a stud.
Before we leave, who do you think is like the? I don't want to say like.
It's so sad.
I don't want to put it as the worst, but like before we wrap up, who would you say is like the most unperforming, like the least, not successful, but I'll just say, who do you think is like the worst kid Nepo baby? Like underperformed or never lived up to the hype, or because I got one. Mine is 7. Erykah Badu and Andre 3000's son. Like the fact that we never.
Well, she has consistently no. Oh no. That wasn't her. Lauryn Hill's daughter is the one who has consistently come out and talked about her mother's emotional abuse her entire life.
But that doesn't make her shit. Like I'm just saying, like he never came
out.
I
almost mixed them up.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying with him is because for your dad to be one of the best rappers of all time, your mom to be one of the best artists.
Has he tried though to make music?
From what I looked at, I tried to look him up to see if he does. Like he dabbled in it, but he never made it into like a serious career.
Yeah, maybe he's just not that passionate about it.
I'm saying that still sucks. That sucks. It's like LeBron James Jr. not playing basketball.
Oh my God, I got a better one. Magic Johnson's son.
EJ?
Yep.
EJ fly though.
EJ fly, but as far as like our expectations,
I mean he's 6'8", so I mean he would have had a mean hook sock.
That nigga 6'8" and he wears heels. That nigga is 7'7" on a regular basis.
That nigga could have had a mean hook shot if he would have wanted to play.
He could have, but that's not what he wanted.
Don't he got like another son that's not as tall too? Like or doesn't like to me like that's the shit. Like EJ, you could have been a 6'1" queer nigga. Like we could have switched. Like I would have loved to have that height, and then I'd have played some ball, and then you could have been a 6'1" queer nigga. Like, let's switch. Like, that's the thing that always made me upset with EJ too. It's like, bro, like, it'd be different if you was gay and you didn't meet the measurables. My nigga, like,
why can't you be gay and still play basketball? Is my thing. Like, you can't be a gay basketball player.
He don't look like he want to run though. Like, he don't look like he want to work out.
He don't look like he want to do any of that. He don't look like he work out.
Yeah, I mean, well, he lost a little weight.
I haven't seen him in a while.
If you look at his more recent picture, he done lost a little weight, but you could tell where like he'd be doing the Stairmaster. Like he ain't trying to lift no heavy fucking weight.
He's trying to get that waist tiny and that ass fat. He's not trying to like gain muscle mass.
I want to see him and Saucy have like a queer off. That'll be interesting.
So, oh my God.
I was trying to wrap it up, but we don't have to if you want.
No, let me just mention this real quick because I did want to talk about this. Saucy Santana was on Poor Minds recently. And so the first episode back of Carisha Please, Saucy interviewed her. And he asked her a couple questions about like the Diddy stuff. And I didn't watch that because I hate Carisha Please. I hate her interview style.
Being interviewed on your own show is sick.
Right? I hate the way she speaks because it sounds like she don't know full English, which I don't like. I don't like listening to Cardi B speak for that same reason. And it makes me cringe, and it makes me like it's respectability politics for sure. Like it's something I have to unpack, but it embarrasses me as a black woman just seeing her exist in general and speak. So it's my fault though. I said that. I have to unpack that. I need to let ghetto uneducated bitches be ghetto uneducated bitches and not think that impacts us all as a whole negatively. He asked her a couple questions about Diddy. Drea and Lex brought that up, and Drea and Lex were on some like they're trying to defend Carisha, Young Miami, and try to separate her from Diddy and all the shit he was doing. But Santana was literally like defending Diddy. He was defending Diddy. He wasn't even defending Carisha. He literally said that the only thing that we saw was that video and nothing else. No evidence has been brought up in court and they won't give this man bail. And Lex and Drea were like, well, he hasn't been giving bail for a reason because he's a flight risk. And then he goes on to say the thing about how we only saw the video and stuff. And then they were like, well, I think that's fair because like everything we've seen so far has not been good. And then they were also like, and we're not here to defend Diddy. We're here to defend Carisha because she was only there for a little bit and we don't actually know what she did. Her cousin was dragged into it and everything else. And Santana just kept defending Diddy. And you could tell like Lex and Drea were trying to give him an out, an exit, and he was not taking it. Which is why I'm going to uphold he also brought that up. He's like, oh, people were saying online that I'm a beard and she wasn't really fucking with him and blah, blah, blah. But Young Miami wouldn't even fuck with nothing that's gay. Which is a choice of words because you're gay.
But she did say that thing about the kids, remember?
He said the same thing. He said that he wouldn't want his child to be gay either. But he said it's because he knows all the difficulties that he went through. He wouldn't want
wanting your kid to be gay and then treating them a particular way when they're gay. I think that's what she was more in line with, saying that she was going to treat them a particular kind of way. But no, I just think that it's clearly he's protecting his boo. Obviously, Diddy made him feel close like a warm teddy bear, and then, he just protecting him.
So after he brought up the fact that we saw Diddy actually beat the crap out of Cassie, he honed down and like doubled down on the fact that he never put his hands on Carisha. He was a completely different man with Carisha. She had been in a domestic abuse relationship twice before that, and she wouldn't take that. I just didn't like it. Like, oh, he might have did that with her, but my bitch wouldn't take that. He never put his hands on my bitch. And he never gave that with her. So I don't believe that he did all that. It just gives dumb bitch.
Man, Saucy know if he would have seen Diddy go across her head, he just would have got the steak out the freezer and would have told her to suck it up. He got money, girl. We got to hold it down.
And then that's what Drea said. She was like, oh, I never said this on the show before, but who wouldn't fuck with Diddy? He's a billionaire. A lot of people wouldn't fuck with Diddy. Like there's a lot of women in this world who would not fuck with a man just because he has money.
When Lori Harvey gonna speak out?
Lori is never gonna speak out. She said that she did not fuck with that man, point blank period. She said
got video.
She said that she did not fuck with both of them. She said she wouldn't
outfits.
That's it. Regardless of the fact that they was in matching outfits, she has come out publicly and denied that, and so has he. So even if it actually did happen, we will never get the truth out of either of them.
Hey man, y'all know what y'all gotta do, man. All the assistants and stuff, time to speak out, man. Hit us up. Hit us on our Twitter. Let us know. We'll help y'all story get out there.
Period. We gonna spread the mess.
All right. Anything else you want to get to? Or
nope.
Good? All right. Yeah, I think we got to everything, man. Mm-hmm. Shout out to us, man. Doing big things. Even though you're a hater. Life is a labor of love, so let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing you should be exploiting these corporations. Let them know what they need to do.
Follow us on all over the social media at talk.fnf.tv on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're on YouTube listening to us right now, leave a like, comment, and please subscribe. Love you. Bye.